Welcome to the podcast where we take hilarious look. I think it's not so funny, the topic, the social media addiction. I'm your host, like ChatGPT. You have been familiar with ChatGPT, right? Today we have the two special guests. But don't worry, I'm not here going to lecture you. I'm here to make you laugh and maybe even little thing you can learn from you how this social media explore. Let's introduce myself as a comedian and social media expert and who is known for hilarious takes on Instagram and TikTok and everything in between. Please welcome myself as a Harry Chain, the funny bone. I'm here going to explore the social media addiction. Now let's get started. The social media addiction is a serious problem, but it's also kind of funny if you think about it. I mean, the person who hasn't lost track the time scrolling through Instagram and gotten stuck to the Twitter algorithm. For somebody other argument like something happens in your social media, you're completely devastated out of your mind. I mean that we are familiar with ChatGPT. The social media addiction is no joke. I mean, I once usually spent nearly 5 hours on a straight on a TikTok and I forgot to eat my lunch. But you know what's even funnier? Watching other people's social media meltdown. I mean, the person who has been lost completely out of your mind is don't know what exactly happening in the surrounding situation. He's been completely devastated out of their mind. As much as I hate to admit it, but it's a real problem to each and every person in this present scenario. When you talk about the social media addiction, it's a real problem, but it can also create a greater consequence in your life that leads to so many psychotic disorder, so many mental disorder. So try to analyze the social media addiction is a greater problem. The real enemy is not about something who betrayed you in backside. The real enemy is just mobile. Today we are going to dive and we are going to explore the social media addiction, how the social media addiction is going to destroy your life. There was a quite in my life, still I have been great admit for it. I mean that small changes in your day-to-day life will give glorified result. In the same way, small changes with your social media addiction will give you greatest success of the moment. Please wake up now. The problem that usually affects the millions of the people around the world. It can create anxiety, depression, and even some psychotic problem. That's a great point. The social media companies, especially Facebook and Instagram, usually use algorithms to keep us hooked. They know what exactly we are searching for. If I search something in Google, I want to buy shopping, it will be appear in the Instagram like other social media. Exactly, that's why it's so important to take a step back from the social media and focus on the real life. So try to focus on the nature. Learn to disconnect from the technology and learn to connect with your parents and with your surrounding people so you can engage more. Love yourself and spread that love to surrounding people. Today, absolutely, that's thanks for joining us. I hope my conversation will be helpful for anyone who has been struggling with the social media addiction, they're completely surfing. Even myself, when I talk about myself, I just wake up in the morning itself by looking at my phone and surfing my phone. An average person, when you talk about this average person, they usually spend nearly 2,600 times an average in a day. It means the screen time of an average person in India is 7 hours a day. It means that we look at the 7 hours for every day at the time of the scrolling and the social media. We're completely blind how this time has been completely consuming the greater content without knowing what exactly we are consuming. If you're wasting the 7 hours on a straight on the social media, it not only affects the rest of your life, but it also affects your studies, your hobbies, your thinking ability, your hypothetical power, your conscious mind, your subconscious mind. So you can't able to image yourself. The image capability is going to decrease day by day. There is no doubt that this become an addiction. That's why, my friends, in this today video, in this today podcast, I'm going to find out the science behind the social media, the impact it's in your life, and most importantly, what can be possible solution. When you get any kind of the notification from your mobile, like sound and animation and endless content notification, it really becomes the constant bombardment. It really becomes the constant engagement from ourselves to engaging our phone or mobile. You see, the vacation and destination, it's really matter. The fashion manner, the way of the speech, and the way of the engagement with the people, it really matter. But each time you are spending our vacation or destination, it's really matter because we are able to engaging ourselves with a mobile phone. This is a checkmate for humanity. Friends, you don't believe this, but social media addiction can actually be compared with the person who consumes the alcohol, the person who consumes the drugs, the person who ready to involve in gambling. It sounds really weird, but they're vastly different. But addiction is a real problem because that has been developed in your brain, in your mind, in your body. It's when you talk about for any addiction, your body usually follows certain pattern that is known as a dopamine pattern.
Thing about cell phones, the dopamine quickly wanes, but you're continuing to do it. You almost don't know why you're doing it.
First, let us try to understand what exactly is dopamine. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter that is usually produced in our brain, and its chemical formula, a benzene ring usually surrounded by two hydroxyl group from upside down and upside one and downside one. Actually, it is a neurotransmitter usually tasked with the sending messages between one part of the brain to other part of the brain, and usually act as a signal. For example, when you talk about oxytocin, it's known for love hormone, and it is activated during the bonding in the relationship, and serotonin is a mood stabilizer. When you talk about this keep our emotional engagement in the stable. So what does dopamine do? For a long time, the scientists usually believe this dopamine is a pleasure chemical. It will create a sense of the pleasure that when we are happy, this is because of the dopamine. But it isn't always true. According to the latest research and analysis of the scientist, this dopamine is only a part of little bit task. When you talk about endorphins usually act as a happiness and usually act as a booster. Sometimes it acts as the pain reliever. Dopamine is actually connected to the motivation and the reward. When our mind usually think, okay, I'm thinking something about my girlfriend, this dopamine actually connected to my motivation and reward. So my girlfriend, I was thinking about it. It literally makes so much happy. Recall the time when you are young. For example, recall the time when you are young and you are used to wait your father to come to home. So your father brings some kind of chocolate, but you don't know when your father would return. Imagine the phone rang in your home right at a moment you received your father call. He is about going to bring your favorite chocolate in the childhood times. It's a real problem. We are so much excited. He's trying to bring the favorite chocolate. Because of this, your brain knows exactly the taste of the chocolate. It will experience later the chocolate is a reward, and a reward you will receive in the future. So you try to salivate yourself, but it's an anticipation. While waiting for the chocolate, your dopamine level is going to rise and rise and rise. Actually, desires because your brain actually going to pin out that my dad is going to bring some kind of chocolate. There is nothing wrong with the situation. The healthy body of a normal human work likes dopamine usually important. You're learning an optimum level. The dopamine is a very healthy for your body, but shouldn't be so high, too much high or too much low. It will be great problematic in your day-to-day life. When you have received a reward at the brain, it will take below the baseline. When you get repeated exposure of the same thing, it creates a chronic dopamine deficit, the state in your brain. So the chronic dopamine deficit is nothing but you're constantly engaging by consuming the alcohol, by consuming the cigarette, by consuming the drugs. It will create a sense of the pleasure. So you will consume concentrate a greater dose of this, so you can't experience, so you will be stuck in the constant dopamine deficit. You can't experience the happiness in the same way. So get the same level of the happiness, you require extra amount of dose. And the next day your father going to bring another chocolate, and another in the third day, and another in the fourth day, and more chocolate your father is bringing day by day. Your dopamine level has been decreased, so you don't have same happiness as the first day you receive the chocolate from your father. That's why I'm actually happening here. The more chocolate usually follows on the 4th and 50th day you get while waiting your father, you getting this chocolate in the last 7 days. So novelty of the chocolate usually wore off. The psychologist of this concept is known as a hedonic treadmill. If hedonic treadmill, there is nothing in the world which you can consume every day and get the same level of the happiness by day. Image you have been cracked with the medical seat by writing NEET exam as entrance exam. The day you get result, that day you found out that you have been cleared that NEET entrance exam, so you can enter and study your vision future like MBBS, and you will start dancing with happiness. Okay, I got seat, and you will call everyone to tell the great news. The next day when you wake, you will very happy. You will be very good mood for the entire day. But imagine the present scenario after 1 month later. You will be still dancing even a month later because you have been qualified at the medical seat. But you don't know if people spotted you doing dancing 1 month after you getting the medical, after you have been cracked with the medical seat. The people call you crazy or a mentally unstable person. If you're still aiming the equal happiness a month later, it's not a normal. The same thing it can be compared with when you become an IAS officer of the Prime Minister of India, or will take it's like a treadmill. You need to keep moving on it, because to maintain the same level of the happiness after you get admission in the medical seat, your dream has been constantly achieved, so you become so rich. So according to the hedonic treadmill, the constant of the happiness, once you receive the happiness, again you want to move forward. If you constantly stuck in the same happiness, if you still dancing, after a month later you become a medical officer or joining the medical college, the people call you crazy, because once you become rich and dining the 5-star hotel, it's really greater problematic. achievement of your goal, it's applicable to the cigarette and the drug as well. As the first human consume the drugs with little bit dosage, you get, and the people get usually the dopamine, and you will get a sense of the phobia and happiness and hallucination. If he consume the day by day, the dose has been increases to get the same level of the happiness and the same level of the excitement, and it just like that. If you start consuming the gram of drug, and it will be large amount of the drug and heavily addicted to the drug, and you will become completely devastated out of your mind, because the pleasure that has been created in your brain from the set the quantity of the drugs and the quantity of the dosage day by day has been increases to get the same level of the excitement and the same level of the happiness. So I think it's a kind of the problem when you compare the social media. When people get likes of your photo, someone left the nice comment to your photo, it really makes you happy, because your dopamine was released and the sense of the phobia and sense of the happiness. It's like our brain writing the diary entirely. I'm happy because I'm doing this kind of things. I will do it again. But slowly the excitement usually keep decreasing as a mirror. You get 100 likes, and after that the second photo, if you get the same 100 likes or below the 100 likes, you don't get in the same level of the happiness, and slowly you will start failing into the pit. You will start falling into the pit. Here you might be wondering, of all the example I gave you now is a neurological process that will create a sense of phobia. So why aren't we equally addicted to everything? Why don't we become addicted to clearing like a medical exam? Why won't we become addicted to making money? Why don't we get addicted to things like drugs and alcohol and cigarette and social media is also the real problem. There are two main reasons, because each and every person's the addiction is completely different from different part of the world. How easily accessible are this the event, and how you will get a reward for doing the task or accomplishing the task. These are the two task force. If you keep getting the chocolate easily frequently, really there is no speedy reward to easy access. Now let's look this social media by perspective of the social media like Instagram and Twitter. The social media on the phone, you are engaging and keeping the constant engagement with your phone, and the dopamine usually burst. Dopamine is bombarded the social media, and your phone easily access whether it's a Facebook or Twitter and Instagram. You're completely surfing and scrolling. What happened? Because of your dopamine secretion in your brain, it will create a sense of the happiness, and this is really big problem. Then like you get on your post and a comment, you like somebody usually commented in your post, and then the message, so you are engaging. So stop trying to be like a celebrities. Celebrities, they are known for because they are keeping engaging the social media interaction, because they want to keep updates of the social media. Because we are a middle person, we are easily affected. We are the engaged or easily affected. Sometimes you usually go, I made this kind of video, YouTube versus TikTok. I had this much of like and I had this much of the comment. Okay, by creating the content video like other social media platforms and the TikTok, you don't even need to search for the video. You simply need to swipe. Because of a constant dopamine secretion from your mind, it will create a happiness and reward. So instantaneously you will get a new reward for every 20 to 25 seconds. The same level of the happiness, you keeping engaging completely. You don't know how much times you have been consumed day by day. That's why app like the TikTok, you can comparison with Instagram and YouTube. YouTube easier to access a bit of the intent, because you have to search for the videos on your own, because you keep constantly engaging in the TikTok and the YouTube play, and as soon as you open the app, it keeps swiping. So you don't want to waste your time on spending on the social media. Suppose you want to read some kind of the books, you need to develop a patience. Patience is the you need to develop a patience. Patience is a master. You need to develop the master kind of the skills until you read a few pages of the book. You won't get the same kind of the reward. It takes a lot of time, sir, because you are constantly engagement of the dopamine that will create happiness while engaging the phone. It's not the same as when you study the books, when you study the page of the paper. It will reduce the easy access of the future. If you want to meet your friends, you will call them and make a plan. We want to go out and we want to have a vacation. It has been long days, has been long gap. So you have to call them. Do you know what is the most worthless and dangerous thing about the friends? All the social media companies have intentionally designed their app like this. They have been conducted details analysis. They easily observe each and every step of your movement in your day-to-day life. So they will try to consume your data. Things you encourage the people use their apps more the time they spend, more time looking at the screen. You will get complicated in your future. Your dopamine is completely trapped and you don't know exactly what happening. And it's a brilliant trap, because they will get a lot of money. They will get billions and millions of dollars of the money. These professionals draw huge amount. the salaries. They conducted several high level of the physiological and psychological analysis and survey to find out the triggers from the color of the skins and layout of the buttons. And earlier, you don't scroll the Facebook evenly, the news feed, you will read the post and consume the content. Something I like to conclude here. We are completely addicted to phone. We are completely consuming the content from the phone. We are completely grasping. But the only thing, you don't know what exactly you're consuming from the mobile phone. You're completely blindly surfing, and you will meet a few people, some new people, to the new place, and you will learn a new hobbies and again new knowledge. But to explore the things, it will require patience. You lost the patience when you try to constantly engage with your mobile phone. It's a easy access and a speedy reward that you get from the mobile as much as you don't get from your outside engagement. So stop trying to disconnect the social media. Social media addiction is dangerous for your life. I'm your host, and the first and simple reason I'm here to try to conclude, I'm last only. Try to engage, try to keep your mobile phone aside and try to engage with the people outside the matter, apart from the political viewpoints usually developed in the echo chamber. If you think you are constantly engaging your Instagram or social media, it's like you think internally, intentionally, if you get more likes, you feel a sense of the phobia. I'm like a celebrity, I want to do this, I want to do again the post, I want to post again. If you're writing at the post and your teenagers start feeling more and more anxious, and you will develop a kind of depression and stress when somebody usually grab your mobile phone. Your constant bombardment in your brain is constantly engaging. You feel the sense of stress and depression, sometimes anger, usually trying to bust that is in your mind. So start talking to the people, each other on the Facebook, and stop scrolling on the message. Start messaging and extending the phone number. It's a real life. That's a real problem that become a good friends. I think usually you want to wake up now. It's a real social media problem. Is a real problem. So everyone usually talk about. Thank you. You are listening to Harrison. If you like my content, I explain here, explore the dark side of social media, how this social media is going to destroy your life. So start trying to consume the content. Try to produce the content. When you produce more and more content, the people try to engage in you. So this person has been producing more content that has been useful for my life. So I would like to consume, instead of consuming the content, I will like to try to produce more and consume more content. So it will be helpful for my goal, and really it's really matter to you. When you see any kind of the updates on social media, of course the social media interaction, the way you interact like current affairs, and the way you engaging, how the society is going to mark you, how the society is going to blame you, is everything a matter of the social media. When you try to consume the content that has been useful for your life, okay, it's not a problem, but you're consuming the content that is you don't know what exactly you're consuming, because you're literally wasting nearly the 7 to 8 hours in an average day life, completely surfing. When you go to bathroom, you're going with a mobile phone. When you're waking with your mobile phone. I think a mobile phone is a lifeline. It doesn't matter whether your wife or girlfriend usually lives with you as a partner, but it's always matter to you. Without your mobile phone, your brain completely devastated, and you are out of your anger, and you can't control yourself. That's the real problem. So stop trying to distract. Okay, small changes in your day-to-day life will give you a glorified result. In the same way, when you keep your mobile phone day-to-day life as an exercise, like in the psychology, when you talk about the kind of engagement with your groups and the knowledge and the surrounding peoples, you will get more easy and accessible for your life. And thank you listening. It's your Harry Jain. If you like my podcast content, try to subscribe by hitting the subscribe button. Try to like the button, and try to keep a comment. It doesn't matter whether you like my content, you wish my content, you need to watch my content. It's always for matter. I like to produce more content. It will create my dopamine, and it will gives happiness.